Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial for the 2019 online governmental consensus vote for the International Code Council using CDP Access. For those of you who have voted in the past, this is not a substantial change. There's a few added benefits this year, including voting by the listing page. But if you have voted before, you should be able to muddle through without this tutorial. If you're new, welcome. This should take you all the way through what you need to know to vote on these issues coming up from the 2019 Group B public comment hearings. First, just a little note, everything that you see here today is done on my test server and it is done with a test account. Obviously, I don't have access to any sort of voting functionality on the live server. So you may see a few things in the background here that are test questions, items that aren't actually up for vote this year, data that might have been changed around while we tried to make sure that this was as accurate as it can be, that we did our testing on this test server. Please know that since this isn't the live server, you may see a handful of little items like that as we go. The process is exactly the same. You won't need to worry about that. Just know that I am working with test data. So in the background, you may see some unusual numbers. All right, so let's go ahead and begin by talking about who can vote in the OGCV. The individuals who can vote in the OGCV must have been validated by their governmental agency 30 days before the hearings. Additionally, all of our honorary members are eligible to vote in the OGCV. Now, if you're not sure if you are an eligible voter, once you log into CDP Access using the same email address and password that you use for My ICC or any other ICC properties, you will come to this voting page. You can go to the little icon in the upper right hand corner and choose My CDP Access. That's going to take you to a profile settings page. You can set the time zone here if you'd like to, just to make sure that all of our date and time stamped news articles and calendar items are right for where you are. And you can take a look at your voter status. So you'll see here I've got my name, I've got my email address, and I've got the voter status for OGCV. You can see that I have been correctly validated for this session. Now, if I thought I was validated, but I did not see that I was eligible, it'll say not eligible, please contact membership if you have questions. There's a couple of things you're going to want to think about right away. First, take a look at that email address that is above the voter status. It'll be the one you logged in with, and make sure that whomever validated you used that exact email address to validate you as a voter. I know some folks, for instance, have jsmith@city.state.gov as well as jasmith@city.state.gov, or jsmith both at the city.state as well as at cityoftownsville.com. These may all come into the same inbox for you, but those email addresses are very different when it comes to our membership system. So do just make sure that the email address there is exactly what you were validated with as a voter. If that seems correct, you're sure you were validated as a voter, you're sure you've got the right email address, you're going to want to email members@iccsafe.org. That's our membership team. They are the ones who handle all of the voter validation and have access to our membership database. They're going to be able to help you out the fastest in terms of figuring out what your validation looks like. And you'll be able to go from there. If they let you know that you should be a validated voter and you're still having problems, they will pass you on to me. If you want to access me directly, you can email cdpaccess@iccsafe.org. I'll put all that help information down in the notes of this video, as well as on all of the help pages on CDP Access. But I wanted to take a minute to make sure all of that validation information was available to you at the beginning of this video. Now, once I know I'm a validated voter, I'm going to go back to the front page here of CDP Access. We will almost certainly have this latest update will become an update about the voting. You'll have a link directly into the voting listing. You'll have links to the help files as well as this video from there. But if you don't have that available or you just want to jump right into voting, you're going to hit this current cycle button right here at the top center of the screen, and you're going to choose OGCV votes. Now, because this is a test server, I can also see the OGCV results right now. That will not be available to you until after the voting is done and everything has been properly vetted through our audit team. You'll only see this OGCV votes option, and that's what you're going to want to select. Now, that OGCV votes link is going to take me here directly to the voting listing page. For those of you who have voted in the past, you may recall that 2 years ago we had you able to vote from this page. Last year, due to some technical difficulties, that wasn't available. Well, it is back due to popular demand, so you can now vote directly from this listing page. Now you'll see I've already got a few votes selected here. That's because this test account had uploaded votes from the hearing at the public comment hearings in Vegas this year. If you voted at the hearings, your votes will show here pre-registered in CDP Access. If you're comfortable with your votes, you know what they are, you're happy with them, you don't have to do anything else. You have voted in the OGCV if you voted at the PCH. If you want to change your vote, however, you've had some discussions with folks, you changed your mind, you can always change your vote by selecting the other option. And if you've got some items that you didn't vote at, maybe you watched the live stream, but you weren't able to attend in Vegas, or something came up on a different day than you were available for the hearings, you can always go ahead and just select one. And once you've selected that, or changed your votes as needed, just come down to the bottom here and you're going to want to hit that vote button. Now, the first time you hit that vote button, there's going to be a little note up here that's asking you for your PIN. If you don't know your PIN, you can always reset it. You can go to iccsafe.org/cdppin, or you can go through the password reset functionality right on iccsafe.org. Or there are a couple of PIN reset buttons, both on the front page of CDP Access as well as inside each individual ballot. However you choose to do it, go ahead and reset that 4-digit PIN. Once you enter it, it's going to be good for 30 minutes, and you can keep re-entering it every 30 minutes as needed, but it is going to give you 30 minutes so you don't have to enter it every single time. That PIN is required in order to vote. It's the same one you use to log into the voting system at the hearings, if that's where you were. All right, so I voted from this front page. I've entered my PIN. Let's say most of my work was right here on the front page, but there was that one particular item, let's say in the GG, that I don't want to have to scroll through all these proposals. I just want to find it right away. There's a couple of ways I can do this. I can literally type GG3 right here, and it's going to bring me right to that ballot. It's going to bring it up. Or if I want to see, let's say, all the GG ballots, I can choose the subject matter, scroll down till I find that item, and then once I've selected it, it's going to show me all the GG items that are available on this ballot. If instead of wanting a subject matter, I know what hearing committee heard this, I can always come here. I'll go to the Group B hearing committees. Let's say I want to look at the administrative committee's work. I'll choose that option, and it'll show me just the administrative proposals in this listing. So you can search, sort, and filter by one or all of these items, whatever makes your life easiest. You can always just clear these out if you want to go back to the full list. In the case of the subject matter, you choose all instead of clearing it out. This should update pretty much automatically once you've made those selections, or you can hit enter or refresh once you've changed it if it's not updating automatically for you. So let's say there's a couple of these. Let's go back to those GG proposals. Let's say I wasn't there for this day of discussion, and I want to vote on them, but I haven't made my mind up yet. I want to make sure that I see everything that I can see about these before I make a decision. That's what this View Ballot button is all about. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. You can see it's going to open a new tab for me. And on this new tab, I'm going to see all the information that ICC can possibly provide me about this proposal. So on the PCH results, this is going to tell me the committee's recommendation. This is going to tell me the final PCH action. Here's the clicker vote that led to that PCH action, so I can see what the starting line was for this proposal. And here's the proposal as it would be incorporated into the text, assuming that it passes per that motion. So in this case, if this is as modified, this is the proposal as modified by the committee with all of the committee's work incorporated into it. If it was as modified by the public comment, the staff has done the work for you and incorporated all that public comment information into the proposal on this tab. If you want to get a good sense of what that extra work was, or you just want to take a look at the original as submitted proposal for whatever reason, you've got that second tab available for you. This will always show you the as submitted version of the proposal exactly as it came out in the committee action hearing agenda. If there was any published errata, that will also be incorporated into this here. We also give you access to the ROCA information, the committee action, the committee modification if it's there, their reason, and then if there is an assembly motion and a vote, we'll give you both the motion and the final results of that vote here on this tab. Same deal with public comments. Anything that was submitted is going to show up here. We're going to give you the full text of that as it was published in the agenda. And then finally, you've got this video item. Looks like on the test server, we haven't uploaded that video yet, but you should have access to both the CAH and the PCH video on each of these ballots. If for some reason there's a video that you'd like to review that isn't on this ballot, let's say GG1, those videos are here, but the discussion on GG2 is very important to me. I'm going to be able to go over to this hearing videos at iccsafe.org item. You can click on the search videos button up here in the upper right hand corner, and you're going to see all of these proposals as they appeared. So here you can see GG2 is on the consent agenda, so there's no PCH video for it, but I can still review that CAH video from GG2, remember that discussion if it was relevant, and review it as needed. This video site is available year-round once we get these videos up. They're always available for free, no login required, as a service from International Code Council to our membership and everyone involved in the code change process. So do always feel free to bookmark hearing videos at iccsafe.org, and you'll be able to review the last couple years worth of those videos. So let's go ahead and jump back to this ballot. I've reviewed the PCH information. I know what I'm voting on. Over here on the Your Vote option, I'm going to see the same information that I saw on that listing page. So here are the two options that I can choose to vote on. These options are based on CP28's rules of how these options are determined. So with the PCH action of as modified and a CAH result of as modified, the two options that I have to choose from are as modified and disapproved. You're going to see that simple majority, which is 50% plus one. If there is a 2/3 majority required, it will show as 2/3 majority required there. I can choose how I want to vote on this item, whichever way I choose to vote. I can leave a comment, which will be provided to staff anonymously. We divorce those from the actual votes, but we do provide them to staff at the end of the process so they can review. Comment on GG1 was, this is a really great idea. Hope we see proposals, more proposals like this. You can leave those comments if you choose. They're completely optional. I'll either see a place to enter my PIN here, or I'll see this Your PIN is valid selection for the next 30 minutes. And then I've got this vote button, which I can click, and that's going to register my vote. The page will refresh and give me this nice green confirmation to let me know that that's saved. And now anytime I see this Your Vote, either on the MyOGCV votes page or on these individual ballots, it'll be pre-registered for me, and I can confirm that my vote is selected there. Now down under this vote button, we've got a few more little optional items that are just for your convenience. This will push you back to the vote listing, but since it opens in a new tab, you can always just close this tab as well, and rather than going back in this window. We'll provide you a link to those written voting instructions that we'll be posting in the next day or so here. We're going to provide you a link to reset your PIN. So if you do get into a ballot and for some reason this is your first ballot, you're not sure what your PIN is, this will take you out to a place where you can go ahead and reset that PIN. And then these important documents, particularly if you're unfamiliar with our process, will be really useful to you. We provide you with a copy of CP28 so that you can understand the entire process as it's written in our bylaws, the public comment agenda. This will be the Group B discussion guide going into the PCH, of course. The public comment hearing results in a nice, easy to parse format. And then any other information that might be useful to you, the staff will provide as links on each individual ballot. At this point, that's really it. You've either voted on these ballots or you voted out here on this listing. There's one more little step that's totally optional that you can do if you want to. If you'd like to preserve a copy of your votes, you've got that option. Make sure that all of these are cleared out because it will assume that any search or filter that you did is all that you want to download. But if you want everything, make sure that these are empty and subject matter says all. And then you've got this download CSV button here up in the upper right-hand corner. A CSV is just like an Excel file. It's a spreadsheet, but a very generic version of it. So when you download this, you'll be able to open it in Excel and read it, print it, do whatever you want. When you download the CSV, it'll wait just a second. It may not look like it's doing much, but eventually you're going to see this pop up. It's going to download that ogcvvotes.csv file for you. And And like I said, that's a spreadsheet. It's got all the information that you see here. So you'll see agenda number, committee action, assembly motion, PCH action, and your vote. And all of that information will be available in that CSV for you. So when you're totally done with voting, if you'd like to share your votes with someone so that you can discuss them, if you'd like to keep a permanent record of it so that you can review it later at your leisure, you can always download that CSV, and then that file is yours to do with as you wish. That's really the entire OGCV instructions. As mentioned, if you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to email cdpaccess@iccsafe.org. You will most likely get me. I'm Lori. I'm the CDP CMS Business Manager here. I'm always happy to help you out. If you just need a little bit of guidance and you're anywhere on CDP Access, you can always click this question mark button, and that's going to take you to the complete list of written instructions we have for all the different parts of CDP Access. We'll make sure that the voting instructions are pinned and popped to the top of that listing so that you can find them easily. That's it. We're hoping to run a couple of live webinars in the first couple of weeks of this, so keep an eye on the CDP Access schedule for that. And otherwise, have a good voting period, and look forward to seeing you next year.